let's be honest here. If you are an owner of a team that has, say, Dak, and you've got to give him $40 million a year or close to it, or you're the owner of a team that's got, say, Baker Mayfield, and you're the owner of a team of, say, Darnold, who you're going to have to make a decision on, do I give him a Goff or a Wentz contract coming up in the next couple of years? Or even, let's go down the list here, Dwayne Haskins, Gardner Minshew, Drew Lock. I mean, these are just names. Why wouldn't you just throw yourself at Lincoln Riley and say, let's roll, and give an absurd amount of money to that guy, Albert?
I think some teams are going to, and I know he got feelers last year. I think that this is more like what you're talking about. I think it's more about what Lincoln wants to do than what NFL teams want to do, because I can tell you that over the course of the last 2 off seasons, if all 32 teams haven't been through there to watch tape with Lincoln Riley, I would tell you that the number is at least at 29 or 30. Almost every team has sent either a front office person or a coach through there to watch tape with him, to see what he does, to learn from him. And that's a pretty powerful statement from the NFL as far as what they think of Lincoln Riley as an offensive mind. But Lincoln Riley, you got to remember, has a job where the money is basically equal to what he'd be making in most NFL jobs. Living in a place where the cost of living isn't outrageous, and he's got all kinds of job security. And so I think there are a lot of people in football who would argue that Oklahoma, that job right there, as Lincoln Riley has it right now, might be a top 15 job in the sport, NFL teams included. And so you're going to have to convince Lincoln Riley to leave Norman, and that's, I think, going to be a difficult thing to do. Now, that said, he's a Texan. You grew up in Staten Island, right, Rich?
Yes, sir.
How hard would it be to tell a kid from Staten Island? How hard would it be for a kid from Staten Island to say no to managing the Yankees?
you bet, man. That's it.
I mean, that's what it is, right? Like, so, like for Lincoln Riley, being a Texan and having grown up there, and not knowing how often the Dallas Cowboys job is going to come open, if they come to you, then I think it's very, very difficult to say no. And you've got an established relationship with the Jones family. Lincoln recruited John Stephen Jones's son, to be a walk-on at Oklahoma. Now, it didn't work out. John Stephen wound up at Arkansas, but Stephen did sit down and watch tape with Lincoln Riley, and the Jones family thinks very, very highly of Lincoln Riley. They see him as an offensive savant, as most NFL people do. And so, I do think that Lincoln Riley would be at or near the top of their list if they make a change in January. And that's the one job where, I look at Lincoln Riley and I say to myself, if I'm him, that's probably a really, really, really difficult one to say no to.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live, or download the Rich Eisen Show app.